Alright, so IGN just released this new video, so as you can see, it's called the Tekken 8 Anna Williams Starter Guide. Now, I'm excited to watch through this because I want to learn more about Anna. We did get a little bit of information on the Tekken Talk, but hopefully this video goes more in detail about her punish game, her mix-ups, how to play her. It should, but I'm excited to see what this video shows. Now, traditionally, Anna has always been a mix-up heavy character. Lots of mix-ups, good full crouch game, all that good stuff. But where she really needs help, her weakness, I should say, is that she doesn't have very good punishment game. Her punishment game has always been a little bit stiff, to be honest, not very good. And then she is a character where you have to commit to her moves to get the most out of her. You got to be able to commit to stuff. And then her lows are not, they work, but they're not the best. You know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering if they made a few changes to her to compensate for that, especially with the new heat system and all that good stuff, and focus on aggression. So we'll see. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just watch through this video and see what's up. And also, I am feeling just a little bit better, just a little bit. I do gotta say though, if there was any time to get sick, I'm kind of glad it was this week and not next week when season 2 rolls up. I'm hanging in there, just a little bit better, not 100%, still sore, still feeling warm, like feverish, and it's not good. But I'm gonna keep going for y'all, and let's go ahead and watch this video and see what's up with Anna Williams.
I'm only interested in my inferior health. This won't take long.
The second character pass of Tekken 8 kicks off with the return of Anna Williams, who bursts onto the scene packing a bazooka, 2 brand new stances.
I really do like that they added the bazooka as part of her moveset. It's pretty unique. I like that.
The character in the past. To help break down this character, Bandai Namco esports manager Alex Julio once again stopped by to walk me through some of her best moves, punishes, combos, and explain just what's so unique and dangerous about her. So with all that said, here's a quick starter guide to Anna Williams in Tekken 8. While Anna has a ton of new tools in Tekken 8 that change up her overall kit, she does retain a lot of the same strengths and weaknesses of past games. She is a very scary character once she's able to get up in your face with tricky stance mix-ups and her unique ability to deal absolutely absurd damage, even if you're blocking, thanks to a new...
That chip damage is crazy. You see that, dude? I honestly think that chip damage should have been toned down much more than what it is in Season 2. That is insane chip damage. So maybe in a future patch, chip damage will be toned down even more, but that's crazy. Look at that. Holy moly, dude.
That said, her punishment game still leaves something to be desired, with her lacking any punishment options at 11 to 12 frames, and also lacking a 15 frame while rising punish.
Alright, so you heard that? So it seems like her punishment game is still going to be on the weaker side. So you heard what he said, right? 11 to 12 frame punisher, she lacks that. And then she doesn't have a while standing punisher from 15 frames. So I get that's to be expected. Like I wasn't really expecting much. I was all like, maybe they give her something new, but it looks like it's not going to be a thing. So it looks like it's going to be jab all day. And then depending on the matchup, not having a crouching punisher from excuse me, from while standing at 15 frames, gonna have to work around that is really what it comes down to. So, yeah, punishment game is always going to be a little bit, hit or miss.
So, to start, let's go over some of her best moves. Down forward 4, a returning favorite. This is
I love that move.
Fast low with solid range that tracks to the
counter
right.
hit.
On counter hit, you'll get a guaranteed.
There we go. Counter hit into step. Dang, man. That's sick. I like that. You see that? Hold up. Watch that again. Watch that again. It's one of her best lows in the game.
On counter hit, you'll get a guaranteed stomp.
Dang, dude, I wish you could step on me. That's pretty sick. I like that move. This is a really good, this is a really good move. What is this?
4-4-3-2.
4-4-3-2.
15 frame mid-heat engager that is only -7 on block.
I imagine that this is going to be one of her go-to whiff punishers, you know what I'm saying? Like, if the opponent whiffs an attack that's big enough, then I imagine that this is going to be a go-to. Hold on, let's see. 2-hit string, heat engager.
Stomp follow-up. Forward 3-2. A brand new move for Anna that incorporates her bazooka. Forward 3-2 is a 2-hit, 15 frame mid-heat engager that is only -7 on block. It is sidesteppable on the first hit, but the second hit cannot be stepped or interrupted if the first hit is blocked. This is a really...
Okay, so it's gonna be, so it's linear. So if, okay, here's the thing. If you have a good read on your opponent and you think they're gonna do it, you could sidestep it all day, but you can't sidestep the second hit. So, excuse me. So, yeah, I kind of expected that with this move. Like I said, I think this might be a valid whip punisher depending on how far away you are from the opponent. I wish they had kind of showcased that, but it looks like it'll be valid as a whip punisher. Since the second hit is a bazooka, like I really wish they would have showed this with how, you know, like at tip range, how far it reaches.
This is a really powerful move that you can expect lots of Annas to be using, especially right out of the gate.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those moves. It's going to be a go-to 100%. 100% is going to be a go-to move. We got next 442.
Frame fully tracking high that will knock down on hit.
Oh, okay. So that makes her a lot more dangerous. That's going to be sick, dude. She's already so tight. So look at this right here, right? So she got forward 3-2, right? So if you're at a distance, or not even at a distance, if you're like, you know, close range, whatever the heck, right? So she can kind of mess with you, mess with the opponent. So if the opponent is thinking you're going to go for forward 3-2, you could throw out, excuse me, I have to take Dayquil after this. You could throw out forward 2, and that's a homing.
17 frame, fully tracking high.
Yeah, dude, that's a homing. It's a high attack, so you could duck it. But like I said, she has the threat of forward 3-2, which is a mid. That's gonna be, wow. That's already really good. So she has that threat already. So it's not as simple as, oh, you know, maybe you know, Anna's kind of spaced away. I could see her going for forward 3-2. She could just throw out the high homing attack, dude. So you don't really know. That's gonna be a good mix-up.
This is a really powerful move that you can expect lots of Annas to be using.
And because they're both bazooka attacks, I'm pretty sure that has reach.
Is a 17 frame, fully tracking high that will knock down on hit with a guaranteed down forward 4 follow-up. Obviously, it can be ducked, but if it is blocked, it leaves you at +4, allowing you to continue your pressure with down forward 1, down forward 4, or one of her other slower lows if you've conditioned them to stand block to try and avoid getting frame trapped by down forward 1.
Yeah, so already we see Anna's mix-up game.
For Anna that can transition into her hammer chance stance. On hit, she'll transition at +8, and basically anything she does out of the stance will be
So down back 4, automatic transition into hammer chance. Pretty, I mean, yeah. Moves that transition. Never mind, I was going to say that moves that transition automatically into stance I'm not a fan of, but it makes sense, never mind.
interruptible. On counter hit, she'll get a
I like her options out of that.
Which is also heat engager.
That's a pretty good move right here. That's a good sequence. Down back 4 into QCF1 for the heat engager. That's pretty cool.
And you transition into the stance, expect to get blown up as you cannot block in this stance. 1+2, a 16 frame mid attack that has full tracking and leaves Anna at +1 on block. It doesn't do a lot.
Dude, already another tracking move. 1+2, that's going to open sesame, it's called. That's pretty tight. 1+2, tracking. So she's showing that she has a pretty decent amount of tracking moves that you could use to your advantage to cover kind of her weakness. Okay.
Damage, but it leaves her at +9 on hit, and on counter hit, she can either get a guaranteed forward 2-3 follow-up or a heat engager with 3+4.
Dang, the booty bump for heat engager. Yeah, dude, at the wall, you're going to be expecting... Yeah, this is to be expected. You're going to have to watch out for this move a lot at the wall. And if you yourself are playing Anna, you're going to have to abuse this. So, let's see.
You can either get a guaranteed forward... It doesn't do a lot of damage and leaves Anna 1+2. A 16 frame mid attack that has full tracking and leaves Anna at +1 on block.
Alright, so +1 on block and then on hit is +9. So yeah, if you're at the wall, this move is going to be coming out 100%.
Or a heat engager with 3+4.
Especially because of the follow-ups, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so yeah, this is going to be one of those moves that you're going to see often when you're cornered.
Anna's down forward 1 is a fairly traditional mid-gut punch that is 13 frames and has a follow-up. On its own, down forward 1 is +5 on hit and -1 on block, making it a great stagger tool. Down forward 1, 2, and holding forward will transition into hammer chance at +7 on hit, allowing you to continue your pressure further. Up forward 3, a low crushing jump attack that is +0 on block and on hit gives you a +27 knockdown, allowing you to follow up with basically whatever grounded attack you want.
Not bad, not bad.
This move is even better, with her getting a bazooka shot follow-up by pressing...
That's a lot of damage, 52?
After the kick connects. This seems like a good time to go over one of the more unique aspects about Ana, her fragile debuff. Whenever she has a string that lets her fire her bazooka, if she...
Yeah, that debuff is going to be pretty interesting.
That doesn't deal a ton of damage, but instead inflicts the fragile debuff. The debuff is applied regardless of whether the shot is blocked or not, and when an enemy has the debuff, they will take chip damage from every attack until they land a hit on Ana to deactivate the debuff. Not only that, but the debuff shot from the bazooka is also +4 on block, allowing her to apply...
When your opponent is in debuff, like, I think we can expect Ana players to, you know, get that debuff effect and then just go in, like freaking go crazy with a lot of plus moves and whatever, you know what I'm saying? So... I don't know, I'm already thinking maybe like down back jab or whatever the heck. But yeah, dude, the chip damage is crazy.
As well. Pressing 2 instead will fire a shot that simply just does more damage and a lot of chip damage, but doesn't apply the debuff. This shot is -1 on block instead of being +4. Now let's stay in heat for a second and also go over 1-2, 1-2 while in heat.
That chip damage is insane, dude.
Outside of heat, does pretty gnarly chip damage while in heat and if the fragile buff is also applied. On block, it leaves her at +3 with a bunch of distance between her and her opponent. Up forward 2. This is mainly used for combo extension, but it can also be used in neutral as a means to transition.
Goes into stance already, yeah, I was about to say.
Since on hit, you're able to transition into the stance at +12. It's safe on block, and thankfully will only transition into stance if it hits.
Okay, so only on hit.
Launches for a full combo, and you're able to cancel the stance transition, of course, by holding down back. Back forward.
That's pretty cool.
This is yet another fully tracking homing attack. On hit, you're left at +11 with a transition into hammer stance, and on block, it's safe at -9. Once again.
Yeah, so tracking moves. So she looks like she's gonna have a lot of moves that track, do homing, or homing, whatever the heck. Okay.
You only transition into the stance if the move hits. And finally, sidestep 2. This is a relatively low risk, low attack that does have 20 frames of startup, but only leaves Ana at -12 if blocked. On hit, she's +0, and on counter hit, she's +14, but the opponent can still block despite the frame disadvantage. So, no guaranteed follow-ups on this one. Now let's go over Ana's punishers.
I'm actually surprised there's no guaranteed follow-ups from that, to be honest. Interesting. Alright, now we're going to go into her punish game. So this is really where she's kind of a little bit weak on the stiff side, but yeah, we'll see what she got. So jab, 10 frame.
Frames, Ana has 2 options.
2-3.
Is 2-3. This does 24 damage and puts her into Chaos Judgment stance at +8. From there, she can threaten with a mix-up between her uninterruptible high, a power crush, a slower mid that's +2 on block, and a high-risk low combo that is launch punishable.
Okay, so that's still in the game.
What you're punishing is actually punishable.
I wonder if she could roll forward from cat stance too, because they haven't shown that. Maybe they will.
Because if 2-3 is blocked, you're going to go for a ride, as once again, you cannot block in the stance. Alternatively, if you just want to keep things simple and safe, you could just do 1-2-1, which is a natural 3-hit combo, meaning that all 3 hits will connect if the first one lands, and it's only -4 on block. As mentioned at the top, Ana doesn't have anything for her 11 and 12 frame punishes, but for 13 frames, she has her down forward 1-2. We already covered this move earlier, but
I wonder when she's able to wall splat, because she has a 13 frame heat smash that wall splats, wall breaks, but what about from regular punishers? Probably at 14 frame, maybe.
It leads into hammer chance at +7 on hit, giving you an opportunity to continue your pressure. Alternatively, you could also use back 2-2, which does...
Dang, the double slap. That's one of my favorite moves, only because I don't know if it'll still be a thing in this game, but just a bit of trivia. If Ana Williams does back 2-2 on a girl character, the opponent can slap her back, and they can just have a slapping match just like that. It's kind of like a little funny thing that can happen. Just a bit of trivia.
Does 10 points more damage compared to down forward 1-2, but doesn't give you the stance transition. For 14 frame punishes, Ana's got a heat engager on 3+4, which is probably...
Dang, dude. So 3+4 is the booty bump now. wasn't that... I forget what the command was for the booty bump already in the last game. I think it was like forward 2+3. I have no idea. I forget. But looks like now it's just 3+4. Someone let me know if that was their other command. But as far as I know, they changed it. That's a new command for the booty bump at 14 frame.
Probably your best bet. You can also do 3-2, which forces both
you 3-2. That's nice.
Your opponent to recover
got that again.
With you at a +4 advantage. And if you're close to a wall, she can instead use forward 2-3.
That's a wall splatting move. Yeah. So it looks like she can wall splat starting at 14 frame. Interesting. So again, it goes back down to her punishment game, you know what I'm saying? So unless she's in heat, then her wall splat is going to be coming at 14 frames, it looks like. Alright, I'm back. I had to kind of pause the video because I had a coughing, you know, I coughed up a storm, so kind of rewinded the video a little bit just to kind of start again from a couple seconds backwards. So, you know, we're talking about her 14 frame punishers, forward 2-3. So it looks like wall splatting will happen from 14 and up unless she's in heat.
2-3, which will wall stun. Your best bet for Anna's
now her down forward 2 at 15 frame punishers, that's a good launcher. If I remember correctly, that was a 16 frame way back in the day. So her having a 15 frame, pretty cool for Anna Williams.
Her down forward 2, which is a standard launcher. She has other options like down back 2 to apply the debuff, but chances are you're going to want the damage of a full combo launcher.
Yeah, at 15 frames, you're just going to go for a launcher, you know what I'm saying?
You can use quarter circle forward 2-1 to launch punishable moves like Paul's Death Fist or something along those lines.
So he mentioned Paul's Death Fist, so that it looks like that's going to be your long range punisher. Let's see.
Which is a standard launcher. She has other options like down back 2 to apply the debuff, but chances are you're going to want the damage of a full combo launcher. At 16 frames, you can use quarter circle forward 2-1 to launch.
It looks like it has some pretty good reach.
Death Fist or something along those lines that pushes you really far back.
I wish they had actually demonstrated that. You know, the guy mentioned Paul's Death Fist. You're going to be able to punish Death Fist with that move. It should have, you know, to demonstrate that, I wanted to see them switch up to Paul, do a Death Fist on block. You know, have it be blocked and then punished with that, because sometimes, you know, that move has so much pushback. Even if that's like your go-to punish, if the pushback is big enough, it won't reach. You know, some characters have a very reliable long range whiff punish, block punish on Death Fist, for example, but it's not the case with everybody. So I would have liked them to demonstrate that with Paul, but guess we'll have to wait a week for that.
And finally, your Omega Punisher for when you block a Hell Sweep or something is up forward 4.
Up forward 4 out of crouch. Okay.
She's got, for 11 frames, either while standing 3 or while standing 4. Use while standing 4 for just a simple punish that leaves you at +5, and use while standing 3 if you prefer to transition to Chaos Judgment stance at +8. While standing 1-2 will be her 13 frame while standing punish, which will put you into your bazooka stance and force them to eat either a debuff or a bunch of chip damage, depending on which one you decide to use.
Okay.
And for her 14 frame while standing punish, it's the same as her standing 14 frame punish, 3+4, which is, once again, a heat engager. And finally, in lieu of a 15 frame punish, she has a 16 frame punish on while standing 2, which is your traditional launching while standing attack. And finally, let's just go over some quick example combo routes using her various combo starters.
So we got some basic bread and butter combos. Not bad, not bad. I wonder how effective her wall carry is going to be. I'm glad that she still has QCF1. I'm wondering if you'll be able to do multiple QCF1s on counter hit, because it was really satisfying hitting that.
In Tekken 8. Thanks again to Alex for taking the time to walk me through the character, and to you for checking the video out.
Alright, so that's going to be the end of the video. So overall, I like what I saw. You know, I think this video was pretty good at giving us just a basic demonstration on what Anna is going to be all about. It looks, you know, obviously they've changed some things of her gameplay to make her fit better in Tekken 8. That was to be expected, but at the same time, it feels like she's going to be familiar for people who play her. You know, still mix-up heavy. Full crouch game is good. Punishment is still a little bit lacking, but whatever. hey, I'm liking what I saw, so I'm gonna call it here. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what y'all thought about Anna Williams. 6 more days to go until season 2. Gonna be exciting, and hopefully I'll be 100% by then. You know, no more sickness. Other than that, I hope you guys have a good day. Stay safe out there. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.